I've been talking a lot about China in the last couple of weeks, and I've been talking about Meta. So this kind of brings them both together. So again, I used to live in China, speak decent Mandarin. I don't have a horse in this race. I think it's fascinating that China and the US are butting heads over AI, and I'm fairly neutral. I would say I am neutral on this, or about as neutral as anyone can get. So I just think this is fascinating. This, what you can see on my screen right now, is Meta's leaked super intelligence team. So over the last month or so, Mark Zuckerberg has been on a hiring spree, and he's been offering $100 million signing bonuses and packages. I think the highest was it 250 million to, I've forgotten his name. Let me see if I can find it on this list. I cannot. I've forgotten his name, but a guy who got 250 million to basically leave his startup and come and work with Meta for 4 years. So the amount of money being thrown around is immense. Like, it's more than footballers, it's more than basketball players, more than NFL players. So half of his team, half of the superintelligence team are Chinese citizens, not just Chinese born Americans, but Chinese citizens. So he's pulled half of the team from China. So this has led a few people to, I think fairly, to to wonder what's going to happen after their contracts are up. Going back a little bit in history, if we go back to Japan in like 1970s, 1980s, made in Japan used to be almost a slur. It would be what you'd say when something was low quality. So if your TV was made in Japan, people would laugh at it. Be like, oh, look at that piece of crap TV. It's made in Japan. That is no longer the case. If your products are made in Japan, they are high quality because it's got Sony, a lot of high quality electronics, motorbikes, for example. It just made in Japan has become synonymous with high quality rather than low quality. So China has taken over a lot of the manufacturing capacity from Japan in the last 20 or so years. And the reason is because it's been cheap. So a lot of Western companies have outsourced their manufacturing, including of things like chips. So Foxconn, for example, make the chips for the iPhone and many other things made in China, in Shenzhen. I think it's Shenzhen. Yeah, I think so. So what has happened, and this happened in Japan, and nobody learned anything. In Japan, things like motorbikes were outsourced to Japan, and car manufacturers outsourced to Japan. And initially, they were not very good at making motorbikes. After a decade or so, they became the best in the world at making motorbikes. And Yamaha, Honda, Mitsubishi, Suzuki, etc., came out of Japan, and they became the largest motorbike production companies on earth. Same thing is happening in China, because what happens is the West will outsource their manufacturing over to Japan and now to China, and with that comes expertise. So they send their kind of top heads of semiconductor manufacturing, for example, out to China to teach people how to make semiconductors. And then China, like Japan, have got really good at building semiconductors. In fact, they are now the best at building semiconductors because no one else has been building them for the last couple of decades. So this has happened again and again, where manufacturing has been outsourced, and then the country it's been outsourced to becomes the global leader in manufacturing. And now pretty much everything is made in China because we outsourced everything to China. So what we might see here, and this is the risk that people are talking about, is half of this superintelligence team are Chinese nationals. When their contracts are up, they will probably just, not all of them, but a portion of them will probably just go back to China with everything that they have learnt in this superintelligence lab, and then go and help DeepSeek, Alibaba, Tencent, etc., to replicate the results, to build the same thing. They'll just be poached back. I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. I think this probably will happen. And a lot of these very, very smart Chinese engineers will go back to China and help, might not even need to be paid as much. So I think Zuckerberg is thinking in the short term, he's thinking about how to sprint his way to AGI or maybe ASI. He says he's going for ASI, but I think that's mainly marketing. But the way to do that is to hire a primarily Chinese team. And again, I've lived in China. I'm fairly neutral here. This is not xenophobia. I think this is just the reality of the situation here, is that a lot of these engineers will go back and they're going to do the opposite of what Zuckerberg is trying to do, which is try to secure AGI into ASI for America first. This is going to help both sides, which is going to be very interesting. But also just the list of people is fascinating. So it is got half of them are Chinese, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 Americans, 1 Israeli, French. Oh, Lan LeCun, of course. Yeah. So this is a leaked list of these superstars are all making hundreds of millions of dollars. They're all working on ASI, apparently. Although Zuckerberg, some of the things he's been saying have been a little bit worrying. Apparently, one of the pitches when he was talking to people on this team, this ASI team, was how much better the AI can become at inserting adverts into Instagram Reels. Now, that is not the kind of use of artificial intelligence I'm particularly excited about. It's the one that's going to make Facebook and Instagram a lot of money, but it's not the one that's going to be solving climate change or our water crises problems. So I do wonder about his motivations. I don't wonder that much. He's trying to make money, a huge amount of money, but it means he's poached all of these geniuses from around the world, from multiple other teams. He's been trying to nick them from, he has stolen them from Apple, but he's nicked a few from OpenAI as well. And he's bringing them all under one roof, and he's going to have them build something that predicts advertising behavior, which is less exciting. I wish instead they were in other labs like Anthropic, pushing towards fair and equitable and more utopian uses of artificial intelligence. But here we are. Money rules everything. Going to swing back to any questions. Oh, I don't think we have any. I think I managed to clear all your questions. And what about artificial super duper intelligence, ADSI? So the thing with, I know you're joking, but we don't have definitions or good agreed upon definitions of AGI and ASI. We don't have a good definition of human intelligence. We don't have good definitions of consciousness, for example. So we are always going to be arguing about what ASI is. So adding artificial super duper intelligence onto the end of it, yeah, we'll probably have a next stage after ASI, and it will be something like this, probably not super duper, but there will be, I don't know, ASI squared, ASI cubed, etc., etc. We will continue to come up with new goals, and we will continue to squabble about when we have reached them. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter because we are pushing forward and we are progressing. We're going up and to the right generally. But I'm saying that as somebody who's mainly optimistic about humanity and where we can go and what we can do. We tend to survive. We have so far for however long we've been around. Despite many attempts to demolish ourselves, we tend to kind of muddle our way through. And when it comes down to the line, I think humanity is quite good at dealing with crises. So I'm generally optimistic